So just enjoy the mystery for what it is. The mystery becomes even more mysterious after realization, not less. Okay? The adventure is still the adventure. It's like they say, before one starts the journey, mountains are mountains and trees are trees and life is life. Then one enters the journey and everything becomes, this big ideas about it, and it becomes something else. It becomes symbology for this or symbology for that, etc., etc. And after realization, it goes back to becoming mountains are mountains and trees are trees and life is life. One goes full circle. But where one ends up is not where one began in consciousness. Okay. There's no longer that suffering mind that's in confusion and chasing here and there any longer, and trying to figure things out, to make it more, to make it less, or to make it escapism, or all of that ends. And one is just in that pure experience of the moment, and it's fine, whatever it is. One enters into the emotions of the moment, and they're fine, whatever they are. But they're like ripples on a pond. Doesn't mean, people think you will have no emotions. It's not true. When Miss Roddy passed, you saw I cried. There was sadness in that moment. There was sadness for a couple days. That the corporeal form was no longer here chasing after me everywhere I went and running over me and running into me, running into walls. No longer here sitting in the chair for satsang. Yes, at first one feels that grief, that momentary sense of loss. But just as quickly as it came, it ends. It's momentary. There's no longer the churning mind on it. It ends rapidly. Whereas if there's not realization, the mind will be churning and yearning and clinging for years, perhaps, on the loss, whatever is perceived as lost, but nothing is lost. Okay? There is no loss. I just wrote a blog on this today. When a sage, especially a sage, passes, they've entered Mahasamadhi, the great Samadhi. They're liberated finally from the corporeal form. And just in that infinite expansion into that infinite absolute freedom. What a joy, what a blessing. And then they're as close as your breath. That consciousness is as close as the breath. That's why they say when the Guru passes out of form, they're even closer. Even closer, because now they're in that expansion. There is no time for that one. There is no difference in space for that one. They're every place in one moment. All places and no place at one moment. So let's understand that nothing is lost in realization. One continues to have emotions. One continues to live life. One continues to have joy. The human experience is still the human experience. What is lost is the suffering, churning mind that feels itself isolated, that seeks some other, that seeks something else to make itself whole. What is discovered is one has always been whole. And the perceived HOLES were illusions of mind, illusions of persona, illusions of division. Okay. The journey is about finding what is prior to those HOLES. And what you find prior to HOLES is WHOLE. So may all make that inner journey. And whether all falls away or ego implodes, it doesn't matter. What remains is the unchanging infinite that has always been. There's nothing else that one may lose. People fear loss. Nothing is lost. Nothing is lost. That's why Christ said, have no fear. Have no fear. The only thing you fear is the fear. There is nothing to fear when one is going towards Godhead to discover what it is and what it is not. There is no loss. Do we have any questions or comments?